Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, October 30th, ahead of Celtics-Pacers, which we will talk about later in this episode. A lot of random Celtics stuff came out yesterday as we're recording this, so which means we're talking about it today. But it just felt like a Celtics news dump day in the middle of, or at the end of October, I should say, for no real reason. But we're here, and we're going to talk about it. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing great. It would have been nice if some of this news came out like any other day, just because Jack and I have,
Any other day.
anytime there's a game, we have our Celtics section of the pod just done. That's what people care about. So the news dump is going to be the news dump. Then we have a fun chat with Ronnie 2K coming out tomorrow. So we don't even need it for the Friday video. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that we got is fun and exciting, and it's really good content. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm excited for the show. So stick around through all of it, because we do, like Jack said, have Celtics-Pacers recap. We'll go through all the Celtics stuff that came out on Tuesday. We'll go through your emails. Then we will give everyone a look around the NBA, some injuries, unfortunately, and then some teams just might stink. I don't know what's going on with some of these contenders, but we'll see. And then, of course, we'll have the rat list. So make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you think of Celtics-Pacers. And again, hit the bell, because Jack and I are here every single day.
We are here, and we are going to talk about Celtics-Pacers right now. All right, we are here after the Celtics' first loss of the season, 135-132 overtime loss to the Indiana Pacers. Celtics were dead for most of this game. Made a huge comeback, great fourth quarter, and then overtime could not get the job done. A little bit too much shot making for the Pacers and a lack thereof for the Celtics. Some big time numbers for the Jays. Pretty bad performances overall for both of them outside of the fourth quarter, but Derrick White was the big reason the Celtics were able to be in overtime in the first place. Some big performances on the bench as well. Neemias Queta, for sure, we will talk about, absolutely was awesome in this game. The plus minus king, if you will. And then the Pacers just kind of rolled the Celtics in transition and a bunch of missed shots, and we'll get into it all. But first loss of the season, Celtics now 4-1.
What a waste of 15 minutes. I mean, they could have just lost straight up.
That might be one of my least favorite takes of yours, brother. I hate it.
If you're going to lose, you might as well just not get our hopes up.
I hate it. No. I hate it.
No, I think there's value in the comeback. It's just annoying. I will say, I've seen better shot selection.
Yeah.
I've seen guys take better shots. All right.
Call him out. Say it.
Jaylen, not good. About. Not good. Tatum, not good. Also, aside from like all of that aside, if you two bozos make your free throws, the game is still going on. You missed 3 free throws in overtime. Can you be serious? You work your ass off to get back in the game and force overtime, and you lose because you missed free throws?
Yeah.
What a way to lose. Ugh.
Bad. Have you looked at the box score yet? If not, don't pull it up.
I don't have it.
Have you looked? I want you to guess how many threes Tatum and Brown combined to attempt in this game.
Combined? Oh, Jesus. They combined to take at least 26.
29. They took 29 threes between the two of them. 1 of 11 for Jason Tatum, 5 of 18 for Jaylen Brown, 5 of 18 for Jason Tatum. And a lot of them were not good. Were not good looks. To their credit, I mean, this is not to their credit. This is, I don't even know what this is. This is just like a caveat. They also missed the open ones. So if that makes you feel any better, which it shouldn't, there's that as well. I guess the positive is these guys were awesome in the fourth quarter. Jaylen Brown was 4 of 8, 11 points. Jason Tatum was 2 of 3, all threes, and hit the biggest shot of the game to send it to OT. Other than that, they were horrific. Other than that, they were really bad. Outside of the fourth quarter, Jaylen Brown shot 7 of 22. And outside of the fourth quarter, Jason Tatum shot 8 of 22 as well. So not great. Definitely not what you want to see from the best two players. Really bad games for both of them. overall. Obviously, the fourth quarter, like they wouldn't have gone to overtime. They wouldn't have been able to mount the comeback if they didn't play well in that fourth quarter. But still, it was an ugly night for the Jays.
It's incredible that they were still able to do everything that was done, and
Yeah.
they were awful. And shout out to the two of them for taking. Well, Jalen's was you had to take it, but Tatum's step back three with a tie game in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's bleach your eyes stuff. That was awful.
No,
I was
not
devastated. I saw the step back and I said, "Oh no." It was almost like making the one to send it into overtime. If it was any other point of the game, like that shot would be like, "Oh man, I'm really upset it went in because now he thinks he can make it." Didn't need to see him taking more of those, especially because he missed a couple earlier in the overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting here like I was gonna say like, oh, but he made
Got
the one in
nothing for
regulation.
me.
No, it was bad. It was just really, really bad. Jaylen Brown also just smoked like a million layups in this game. The Celtics
Mhm.
missed all the layups,
A
and
lot.
I mean we can talk about this too before getting into some other like positive stuff. But the reason the Pacers were so good in this game is because the Celtics missed every open shot they got. And then the Pacers just ran in transition, and the Celtics transition defense looked terrible. Like the Celtics were lost in transition. The Pacers were like a blur, and they were like chasing shadows. Every missed layup. Drew Holiday had the worst one of the game. Jesus, that was ugly. Jaylen Brown missed a bunch of bunnies. Jason Tatum missed some. Every time it was just they are missing layups, and the person who took the layup is under the rim. And at that point, it's a 4-on-5, and the Pacers just get open shots time and time again. I thought Tatum's transition defense for the second game in a row was pitiful. He's just like, I get that it's Jason Tatum and you don't want him picking up fouls, but oh my God, get in front of the ball. Like, just what are we doing? It looks so awful when he's just standing there and letting them take a layup instead of contesting. Like, oh my God. Like, it's partially the offensive fault for offense's fault for giving up so many what's it called? Missed layups. Like the transition defense is partially the fact that they just couldn't make their shots tonight. But this was a pitiful transition defense game, and it was a big reason the Pacers were able to generate a rhythm because, man, they just got whatever they wanted inside, and it was all because the Celtics were shitting themselves from beyond the arc.
Yep, they sure did. Running off of 3-point misses is very easy because those rebounds are long. Speaking of long rebounds, a lot of people in the playback were getting pissed because the Celtics were giving up offensive rebounds, which, listen, nobody hates seeing an opponent get extra chances to put the ball in the basket in a close game than me. Listen, some of those were just very unlucky. Like, there was one that went right over Jalen's head. It's like, dude, there was no way he could have known that was going to fly off at him. Man. Well, a very fun watch. Very fun watch.
It was a great game. Great game.
You know what the worst part of this is?
Yeah.
Halliburton played like me, and they still lost to them.
Halliburton looked awful. Yeah, he was really bad. He had a couple big shots that were like, oh my God, what the hell? But yeah, he didn't look good. Ben Mathurin looked like a monster, especially in that middle of the game where he was hitting everything. Also, caveat, Pascal Siakam made 5 threes this season before tonight. He made 6 in this game.
You didn't need to tell me that. No,
there you go. That's another thing. I mean, he was 5 of 16 from 3 before this game. He was 6 of 8 tonight, including the one that won the Pacers the game. Tough, ugly, bad. Yeah, just not ideal. Again, though, the fact that they were in this game, they made the run, like, and they played really bad should tell you how good this team is. Another reminder for fans who inevitably are going to say, oh my God, this team actually sucks, which I hope we get less of the season considering we saw them not suck for however long now. If the Celtics lose once every 5 games, that's a 65 win pace, which is more than they won last year.
Enough.
So just some added context there. We can't talk about the positives, though. Derrick White looked incredible. He should have had the ball more in overtime. He had 23
These guys
points.
owe him an apology.
Yeah, he 23 points, 8 of 9 shooting from the field, 5 of 5 from 3, red hot, including a Peyton Pritchard-esque shot at the end of the first quarter when the Celtics were drowning. He was amazing in this game. Shout out Derrick White.
He made every big shot. He really was the driving force that got them to overtime. They would not have been there had Derrick White not made not only like clutch threes, but they were not easy ones. There was one that he made
No.
I think he got like a very difficult window to shoot the ball in. He got a pass late in the shot clock. Neesmith did a great job closing out on him, and he sank it anyway.
Mhm.
He looked super confident shooting the ball. Very happy to see that from him because he's obviously one of the most important guys on this team, like always. Having him be a knockdown, confident three-point shooter is just only going to be good as you continue to go forward, play these games in the regular season. Not to mention that, you know, he was just all over the place. Throughout the game, though, him and Drew were both not great defensively. They were both kind of
Drew,
getting blown by, and
Drew had a bad game.
yeah.
Yeah,
He wasn't even out there for crunch time. Very rare seeing
exactly.
Drew on the bench for crunch time, but it was deserved, and Pritchard was probably the better option, even though by his
Richard's
standards,
great.
he was off today.
That's funny, right? He shoots 4 of 11, which is 36%, and that's a bad game, which it is for
Want to
him.
hear
But
the biggest travesty of the night, Jack?
hit me.
We were one Jaylen 3 away from Prize Picks.
We were. I know. We almost hit Prize Picks, but
Tobias, we didn't even have to
only
do the
went
Green
one.
Goblin for him. We could have did the
I know.
regular points.
Woefully inefficient, but he got
Pistons
his points
win.
up. They did. Neemias Queta also in this game completely changed the outlook of this game. They put him in late in the fourth quarter to get like a different look, to change something up, and he was a monster. He was affecting shots at the rim. He was gobbling up offensive rebounds. He looked awesome in this game. Xavier Tillman had another really bad game. That's my guy, but I'll call it like I see it. Like he looked really, really rough in this one. There was one point in the first half, I'm forgetting, maybe third quarter, I forget when it was, but he just like had a wide open three and he just drove into like 4 bodies and took a contested layup. Combine that with like rough defensive rotations, like he just did not look on his A game in this one. I wonder if it's because they have him at the 4 instead of the 5, but like he's got to be able to do both. And he looked like he could in the preseason, but Neemias Queta was a monster in this one. They've got to give him some more looks moving forward. It was the perfect game for him. It was the perfect point for him. Just energy, sort of towering over some of these Pacers players because they didn't have Miles Turner. He looked awesome. He was affecting shots on defense. He was in the right spot. I don't think he fouled in this game. Played 13 minutes, didn't get a single personal foul. He's a plus 18 in a game the Celtics lost. Like he was awesome. Really, really, really good.
Man, 9 boards that quick is insane.
He's a monster, dude.
I can't believe how much Nemi changed this game. In the pregame, we were literally talking about like, oh, where does Nemi fit in this lineup? Because I don't really know. It doesn't make sense because he's basically the same guy as Cornette, who was always rock solid, who was fine in this game. He had 8 and 9. Could have shot a little bit better from the field by his, Luke is usually a 70% field goal percentage guy. 1 of 5 is not exactly what he does, but he did knock him down from the free throw line, which is pretty good.
He was like, the Celtics offense was sputtering. They looked like the worst they've looked in a year, let alone this season. And Luke Cornette had how many offensive rebounds in this game? 7? 7 offensive rebounds, 6 in the first half, which they said on the broadcast was the most of anybody in the NBA in the first half this season. Like he was one of the only reasons they didn't look even worse than they already did. So him in that first half and Nemi in the fourth quarter and overtime were amazing for this Celtics team.
Yeah, shout out to the bigs. Especially Nemi. Nemi was the needle mover in this game. He was even on the glass in overtime. He had 2 offensive rebounds, I think on the same possession. Or was that the possession that Tatum hit the step back 3 in regulation? I don't remember.
No, he had a couple in overtime and the Celtics didn't capitalize, but he did.
He just was ready for the moment. And you really can't stress enough how hard that is to do when you're sitting on the bench for how many games has he been on the bench in like real minutes? Probably all of them. I don't think he's played like a big chunk of minutes when the game is tight all season. So for him to come in this game, and of course he was kind of eased into it, right? Because the Celtics were dead when he came in the game. They were like, all right, Nemi, go ahead, buddy. And then all of a sudden they weren't dead. Watching it live on playback was a ton of fun. Jake and I were going nuts. I'm sure the clips will be up tomorrow of us just going berserk. Tatum taking the step back 3, me going no, and then it goes in. I'm like, yes. Yeah, what a kick in the balls. I'm so bummed.
It's tough. I mean, these games are going to happen. They're not going to win every game. I like the way that they managed the comeback. I like the way that they looked when they were coming back. It felt like the Pacers play such a unique style of basketball that it throws the Celtics off. Like Pacers play so quick, they play so random, they play so all over the place that the Celtics like are throwing off their normal rhythms and schemes and stuff like that. The Pacers did a great job of taking away a lot of threes that the Celtics have taken all season. The step-in threes weren't there for Tatum for the second straight game, and it clearly affected his rhythm. Jaylen Brown wasn't making any of the threes. Obviously, those two were garbage from three. If you take away their 29 threes in 6 makes, which is pitiful, by the way, the Celtics shot 13 of quick math is not my strong suit. 13 of 38, I think. So without the Jays, the Celtics shot 34 from 3, which still isn't great, but it's a little bit better than how they shot. Yeah. So PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks for every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on PrizePicks because it's gone when September ends. Also, you can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sam and I used PrizePicks all season long while on How Bout Them Celtics pregame shows. We picked Jason Tatum dunks, we picked Drew Holiday steals, we picked a ton of stuff, especially during the finals when Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, we were kind of preying on their downfall. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly. When you play $5, that's code CLNS on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. It's tough.
Also, yeah, Siakam shooting that well from three.
It hurt. Hold up, you're fish bowling.
I hate the fake shooting night.
We're missing. You're fish bowling because of the AirPods, I think. Still fish bowl.
Fuck off.
Just try it. Okay, you're back now. You're good now. You're good now.
I hate nights like this because these AirPods don't have the juice.
Gotta get new ones
for hours.
You gotta get.
It's not about them being old. It's that I need to just switch the headset. You're right, because I have the big one.
Yeah.
You can leave this in. This is good.
I'm not editing this out. Yeah, just a tough one. A tough one for the Celtics. Again, like I said, they're not going to win every game. It's inevitable, but I'm surprised Horford didn't play as much in this game. I think they wanted the size. I think they knew that the offense was looking ugly, so they wanted some extra boost in the offensive glass, and Cornette and Tillman were giving it to them. Cornette and Queta were giving it to them. He was hitting his shots though. And when you have a guy hitting your shots,
he was giving them nothing. Like they were just driving and finishing right on top of him every single time. Like it's similar to how
a lot of that was transition
the
though.
Opener against the Knicks went.
Yeah, but a lot of that was transition. Like 70% of the Pacers offense in this game was in transition. And I guess like even so, like you want the guys who can get back in transition, and maybe that's why Neemias was a bit better because he's just more athletic. But I don't know. This was just an ugly game. The offense sputtered out, and it hurt the defense, and so on and so on. Yeah, Pascal Siakam 6 of 8 from 3 is a killer too. That's no fun.
I'm pretty sure this is the first time Siakam has beat the Celtics since the bubble. Jake was talking about this on the stream.
It is.
That's a long. That's 4 years. He hasn't beat the Celtics, and that's insane. Especially being someone who's in the division has also played them in the playoffs.
13 straight.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
Hey Sam, do you want me to get you angry again?
Go ahead.
It's tied his career high for threes.
Yeah, fuck off.
It's the 4th time he's ever made 6 threes in a game.
I actually think I would have been more mad if Halliburton made the game-winning 3.
Yeah, I mean he had a big one in overtime.
Yep, he did.
This is the first time since March of 2022 that Siakam had 6 threes in a game. So there you go. It's the first time. It's the most threes he's ever made as a Pacer.
Just to kind of tie back into what we talked about, I think on the later part of the pod, what it takes for the Celtics to lose games is ridiculous. Just as like an example, Siakam had to make the most threes he's made since 2022 in order for the Celtics, albeit they were dead, but they had to go to overtime to beat the Celtics with him making 6 threes in a game.
I will also say Indiana just vomited all over themselves in the fourth quarter. Like, as much as the
It was
Celtics had to
fire.
play a part in themselves coming back, like, oh my God, the Pacers looked terrible. They were turning the ball over. They were, taking dumb shots. They were lost on defense. Like, they shit themselves. So, credit the Celtics, but man, the Pacers made a mess of this. Okay. You want to do play the game and then get out of here? We'll do it win or lose. We'll make it happen.
Yeah,
What do you think?
we'll do it. Oh, play of
I'll
the
let you-
game. I think you said play
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game. I'm sorry. Play of the
What
game.
game? What game we playing? You got one?
Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard not to be like the Tatum 3.
Yeah.
I hate when there's an obvious one,
Yes.
but that like really was it. I guess like I'll say like the pair of Derrick White threes in the fourth quarter. Like that for me is also a massive spot. I
Mhm.
think the string of stops they got creating havoc on the Pacers was also like a big play. Like Jaylen getting a steal on Mathurin was huge.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say the Jaylen steal on Mathurin. Why not? Because you
Okay.
don't get to the Tatum 3 without that.
I was gonna say the Derrick White inbound steal on the other end of the floor. Like he made a couple threes in a row, and then the Pacers threw it right in, and he like was a cornerback stealing that. Obviously, the Tatum 3 was huge, but Derrick White's run at the end of regulation was massive, and also Nemi had 4 offensive rebounds, all of them in overtime. Every single one of them was in overtime,
Good
which
dog.
is insane. So he deserves a ton of credit. He was probably the player. Him and Derrick White can share player of the game for this one. But any final thoughts?
They've embarrassed me for the last time, or they've wasted my time for the last time.
I was gonna say, I don't know if embarrassing is a fair word.
No,
It's
if
tough for
anything, you're proud
me.
of them for not rolling over and dying, but you're also annoyed because
Yeah,
your hopes up.
it is what it is. It's tough. Like now that the Celtics have won and they've proven that they can win at the highest level and they know how to do it. Like it's tough to get too upset after losses because, knock on wood, there probably won't be too many of them. So,
Correct.
take it, move on. It is what it is. And as much as it sucked, I am now 5-0 on my predictions of the Celtics win losses for the season. So maybe I'm an oracle. We'll see. Anyways,
Jason
we'll,
Tatum passed 12,000 points tonight. 12,003.
there you go. All right, we'll throw it over to the rest of the show. All right, we are back, and we're talking about Jaylen Brown now. Jaylen Brown is going to star in the second season of Starting Five, Netflix's hit series that starred Jason Tatum in the first season. Will star another Celtic in the second season. They are the only team to have another player on the second season. So Boston is getting another in-depth look at the upcoming season, thanks to JB. The other 4 players that will be starring are Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Tyrese Halliburton, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. I have our predictions. I forgot about this. We predicted who was going to be in it. I think I got 2 out of 4, and you got 1 out of 4. Let me see if I can find our predictions here.
Okay, I'll talk. Kevin Durant is going to be a really fun watch. I am so excited to see Kevin Durant on camera just going about his day-to-day because I love him. Kevin Durant is just like me for real. He just hates everybody. He doesn't want to put up with everybody. He thinks the fans, well, certain fans are annoying, I suppose. I wouldn't say everybody. I'm sure he likes some fans. But he's not afraid to go at people on Twitter. And I'm just excited to see more of him because he's probably really fucking funny. As for the rest of the guys, SGA was an obvious choice, I think, just as another like rising star type like Ant. Jaylen makes a lot of sense. I think we kicked that around, but we just didn't think that they would do another Celtic guy. Oh, you muted yourself.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah. Was I not muted the whole rest of the time?
I mean, I didn't hear anything from you, but I don't think you.
I can't find. Okay, yeah. So you said Steph, Embiid, Jaylen, Zion, Shea. So you got 2 out of 3, or 2 out of 4. Sorry, or 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Can't
Starting
do math.
I
was doing 4 and like discluding Jaylen, but you guessed Jaylen, so I can't.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I said Wemby, Steph, Jalen Brunson, Halliburton, Banchero. So I didn't say Shea for some stupid reason because it was the most obvious one. Okay, yeah. But Jaylen Brown is in it. The rest of them are in it. I'm most interested to see what the hell they show about James Harden because like
he's just got a fat suit.
His entire career, all we've heard about is this dude loves strip clubs. This dude loves partying. This dude loves like the whole time.
Harden episode's going to be rated X.
The entire first season of Starting Five was look at these amazing fathers, and now you have an
Was it?
entire second season. Look at these fathers. Look at four
James
amazing
Harden is going to
fathers
be the
and
ant of
one
this season.
right. Well, none of them are fathers. I don't think in the second season, unless we don't like they keep their kids private. Like we don't know any like
I
Jason
think
Tatum.
Jay has a kid.
Are you sure?
I think they had a baby last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Excuse me. I see. Yes, you're right. Okay. But like in general, like Tatum, very public father. LeBron, very public father. Sabonis and
The
Jimmy aren't
most public
necessarily very
father that there
public,
is.
but they have kids and we got to see that part of their life. Ant is whatever, but like KD, just the furthest thing from a dad. James Harden, just the furthest
That's
thing.
why
from
it's
a dad.
gonna
Like,
rule.
You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
this is gonna be so funny.
It's gonna be a very different vibe, and I think they did that on purpose. So I'm very intrigued to see how it plays out because it's gonna be very interesting. I think Halliburton's gonna be the Sabonis of the season just because like I think he is more personable than Sabonis. Like he is more popular just in like mainstream whatever. But what what are we gonna see in Indiana? You know, like what is going on there?
There was the video he did of him just getting back from the club with the 3 white girls,
Yes.
and he was like, "Happy birthday, 50 Cent." So maybe
Yes.
he's more fun than we think that he is,
I think
and
it was his
maybe we'll get to learn
girlfriend's.
about his voice change.
Yeah,
His
I think it
voice
was his girlfriend and her two friends. I assume that's what I assume from it.
Okay.
But, I know one was his girlfriend for sure.
Okay.
I don't know, man. JB is gonna be fun because he's
I
very
don't know anything
private.
about him,
Yeah, he's very private. I assume you'll see a lot about 741 Performance, which is a shoe
which is
company.
good. And probably the Juice Foundation. Probably
Juice.
like that's gonna be what I like. That was what I wrote about for Celtics blog. I was like, with Jaylen, we're gonna get to see like all of the good that he does. I think like he's gonna be someone who is really like using that platform to be like, this is all important stuff that I'm doing. Like this is what
Yeah.
I get up for off the court. So that's awesome. Also, final thing, James Harden. I hope we get a ton of Steve Ballmer.
I hope we get at least a little. I'm hoping that in the same way we get Tatum and Deuce hanging out, I just really hope we get some cutaways of JB and KP living in the same building. I just want Kristaps messing around in the apartment building or wherever Jaylen lives. I think that'd be fun. I don't know about the rest. The rest is very interesting, but at the very least, I wrote like 3 reasons people should be excited to watch Jaylen in starting 5. The first one was 741. I think seeing behind the scenes that is cool. Second is he's just a private guy, so like seeing his unique lifestyle is going to be interesting. And the third one is they could very well win another championship this year. So getting another chance to get an inside look at a potential title run is very fun. You heard Tatum say the reason he chose to be on season 1 because he knew that they were going to win. Well, it's smart by the NBA and Netflix to choose another Celtic because they probably got a really good chance. And if everything goes like people are predicting, you could have 2 people in the finals with Shea and JB.
This has to for the production company running this. Basically, has to be like having 5 NBA futures. Like you're just sitting waiting for the bets to hit all year, and like Celtics Thunder finals would be the ultimate hedge for them. They'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
Jaylen. I also think Jaylen's like sneaky, like really funny. So I'm excited to hopefully see that side of him because every once in a while at the press conferences, puts the smirk on. Like the comment to Cam about the dogs last year. Guy's a little funny.
I don't know. He feels like he isn't funny unless he wants to be, and when he wants to be, it is very like very subtle. Like it's very subtle humor usually it feels like with JB. This makes me curious cuz like it feels like they're just going to do this every year now, right? Like it was successful. You might as well like get an inside look if it all goes well, blah blah blah. You want to pick playoff teams, obviously, so you can have the longest or teams that should be in the playoffs, right? Obviously, of this group, James Harden is probably the most questionable whether they make the playoffs because the Clippers. They probably chose it before all of the crap went down. They might have even chose it before Paul George signed with the Sixers. Like you don't we don't know when they signed these deals. It was probably a long time ago. And not to like go way too far in the future, but like who the hell is left next year?
They should do a Mazzulla feature on the season, the next season.
They should do coaches 5 or something. That would be very
Mazzulla,
fun, actually.
Tibbs. I would say Chris Finch would have been more fun when he like tore his meniscus or patella tendon.
I'd want JJ Redick just because
JJ.
I like JJ Redick. I think Tibbs is a good one.
Spoelstra?
Tibbs would never do it though. Tibbs would never do it.
Tibbs would be
Let's
the
not.
best.
He would not do it.
It's just him never like it would just be like cuts to Tibbs and it would have the time of day on the screen and it would be like 2:45 in the morning and it's just him in his office.
He would never do it. You know who'd be a good one? Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown would be fun. He's just a funny
Michael
person.
Malone?
Mike Malone would be an okay
He
one.
rules.
I'm trying to think who would be the fun. Taylor Jenkins is a funny coach. I like him. He's cool.
Doc.
Steve Kerr would do it for sure. I think
Doc.
he would do it. Doc would not do it.
Doc
might
loves
do
the
it.
cameras. I mean, you saw him in the press conference the other day. That dude loves like being the star.
It's true. It's true. Nick Nurse would do it. I know you don't like Nick Nurse, but he would do it. Yeah, man. Steph, I think, still makes a ton of sense to do it. Wemby still makes a ton of sense to do it. I still think Paolo would make a bunch of sense. Brunson. I guess there really are just a lot of stars left. So they will have enough breathing room to do it year over year. So I'm excited to see what they do. I'm very excited to see JB in starting five.
Yes.
Obviously, we've got a year to wait, but we do have some insight into
we got to ask some tough questions these press conferences, so they put us in like Gary.
I got to be there for this one. Apparently, jeez, man, the one of two games I didn't get credentialed for last season is the scene they'd choose to go.
Every game just feels like they're playing a lot harder than you are, and then you look over at the camera.
Basketball season is back, and I could not be more excited. Getting to watch my favorite team live in person is my favorite time of the year, and I get all of my tickets on Game Time. Game Time is the perfect app to use for all of your ticketing needs. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It brings the best prices, the best deals for you to go watch live basketball right to the front. But it's more than basketball season. The Patriots are back, and the Chargers are coming to town very, very soon, and it looks like you can get a great deal to that game. Justin Herbert get to come to Gillette Stadium to hopefully play Drake May. He did get the start recently, so that should be a very, very fun quarterback matchup as well. My favorite part of the app is the fact that you can filter out the fees, you can look at the best deals, and it highlights what it believes are going to be the best deals for you to get the exact type of ticket you want. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, everything you want. I saw Noah Khan over the summer. I use Game Time to get my tickets. All-in pricing is another part that I absolutely love about the app. Toggling the feature shows the exact total upfront. Like I said, filters out the fees, tells you what you're paying with everything included. It is perfect. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Next thing, speaking of Joe Mazzulla, he wants fighting in the NBA. Joe Mazzulla wants there to be fights. He was on Zolak and Bertrand, I believe, correct?
Yep, correct. Every week he does.
And he said, quote, "The biggest thing that we rob people of from an entertainment standpoint is that you can't fight anymore. I wish we'd bring back fighting. You want to talk about robbing the league of entertainment? What's more entertaining than a little scuffle? How come in baseball they're allowed to clear the benches? How come in hockey they're allowed to fight? I don't understand. I just don't get why some sports are allowed to clear the benches. They have bats and weapons in baseball. We don't. We have a ball. The other sport, hockey, has one of the hardest. Yeah, the other sport, hockey, has one of the hardest playing surfaces and a puck and a stick. And we're not a little bit. That, Joe, you're allowed to do it. Like you can throw down, Joe. You'll just get suspended.
Well, that's his point. Is that he doesn't want to see his guys get punished.
Baseball players.
I mean, Ron Artest missed a whole season.
Exactly. Baseball players.
It was a little different, a little extreme.
Hockey players get thrown into the box. Like there are penalties for fighting in other sports. But
I mean, fighting penalty in hockey is essentially
it is a slap on the wrist. It is nothing
because both guys go to the penalty box. It's not even like you have to deal with a power play. It's actually like the least offensive penalty.
Sure. Baseball gets suspended though. I don't know, man. There's never going to be fighting in basketball.
Joe Mazzulla probably just wants to fight.
Who would be? Is there a coach in the NBA who could beat Joe Mazzulla in a fight?
A coach, probably not. James Johnson would have an extra 5 years of NBA career if they allowed fighting, though. Like he would just be there to protect his team. And I think that is one of the most interesting storylines. I mean, James Johnson would be the biggest winner for sure, and then Joe.
Yeah. Then Joe.
Like, Joe could probably take
Who
out some of these players because he's only, what, 35, 36? Like, he's still, like, physically
It's true.
fine. He's jacked.
If you put every NBA coach in a Hunger Games, does Joe win?
JJ Redick could probably be towards the top of that too. Not I
Joe
feel like he would
Mazzulla,
connive his way.
sure, but Joe Mazzulla would beat the shit out of JJ Redick.
Can you imagine
100%.
Joe Mazzulla versus Pop?
They'd leave Pop. Too much respect. They'd leave Pop. Pop could do whatever he wants, right?
Chris Finch and his torn patellar tendon.
He'd be cooked. I'm like going through the list, right? Okay, Mark Daigneault, cooked, right? Mike Budenholzer, cooked. JJ Redick, maybe. Jason Kidd, I don't see it. Steve Kerr, dead. Ty Lue, no. Ime
is a hoss.
Ime would have him and Joe would be top two. Chris Finch, no. Mike Brown, no. Taylor Jenkins, low key Taylor Jenkins, I think would be like the did you see Hunger Games? Have you ever seen it?
I saw the first one. I read the first book. If you made a reference, I might be able to.
Taylor Jenkins would be like PETA, not in the sense that he'd win, but in the sense that he's like the lovable side character who's just kind of like there hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm 100% aware of PETA and his importance to the story, but I can never think of it without thinking of Peter Griffin and Lois just screaming out to Peter with the New England accent, going PETA.
Willie Green, maybe because he's big. Mike Malone, no. Greg Popovich, no. Chauncey Billups, no. Will Hardy, no. And then Eastern Conference, Kenny Atkinson, no. Joe,
Tibbs,
obviously.
yes.
Jamal Mosley, no. Tibbs would get murdered. Brian Keefe, no. Quinn Snyder, no. Billy Donovan. Eric Spo would probably be all right.
I feel like Spoelstra does jujitsu or some MMA stuff too.
He's got to, right?
I feel like I've read that.
Nick Nurse, maybe just by being a weasel.
No.
I think he would have the JJ Redick arc of just being able to connive and weasel his way up.
He would be like doing the Hunger Games equivalent to pretending to be on the court.
Yeah. Charles Lee, I think is there. I'm blanking on
assistant coaches.
No, I'm blanking on the Nets coach. Hold up. Jordy Fernandez, sorry. Jordy Fernandez, Dino Rajakovic, Rick Carlisle would die first. He's dead.
I like Rick Carlisle, man.
I do too, but he's dead. Doc Rivers and JB Bickerstaff. Yeah, Joe would just wipe the floor with all those guys.
Doc would be like in an alliance in the final five. Like he would have like two people on his side and he would lose.
Yeah, he'd be cooked. Well, my question is, Joe says he wants the players and everything to fight. Like, who on the Celtics is fighting? Like, who is fighting?
Jaylen would probably smoke somebody.
If it was allowed, Jaylen would probably clock someone.
Jaylen
will clock someone. Yeah.
Jaylen versus Tyler Hero pay-per-view.
Oh, he'd be gone. I can't think anybody else though. Like,
I mean, you don't want Tatum fighting Porzingis. No. You cart him back to the locker room before the fight. Like you have a hint of the fight maybe starting.
He's
put him out.
Far too nice. Xavier Tillman is built to fight someone. He's far too nice. He wouldn't do it, but he's built for
Cornette. Pritchard probably kill somebody.
Pritchard, I was gonna say Pritchard's a good one. Low key Baylor Shireman, I could see in the Dorchester drip getting out there just trying to beat the shit.
At the draft, no. Since he got a buzz cut, yes.
See, the problem is with Pritchard
Springer is he's like a linebacker.
Yeah, Springer could. The problem with Pritchard is Pritchard would like pick off more than he can chew, bite off more than he can chew. Like he'd go to like
James Johnson. Old and washed.
Yeah.
I could take him.
Like, he'd just get his shit rocked. Fighting would be, maybe Joe's right. I'm thinking.
I would be curious if the Celtics have some sort of sparring and practice every once in a while.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No way. I would be shocked. I don't think so at all.
But Pritchard headgear, everything.
Pritchard, even like with the headgear and stuff, just the risk of getting injured. No. Pritchard and JB are the obvious answers, though. Because Pritchard's the type of guy who would think he could beat Jaylen Brown in a fight. Like he I bet in his mind he thinks he could beat up Jaylen Brown. And
Sure.
just nah.
Well, he said to us the other day. He said I hate losing. I'm like the most competitive
person on the team.
Yeah,
But basketball and bare knuckle brawl are two different things.
it's the same thing.
All right. Last Celtics thing before the email. Lonnie Walker is not signing with the Maine Celtics. This is from John Corrales, friend of the show. Said Lonnie Walker, I'm told, made the choice not to join the Maine Celtics after he was cut. Exhibit 10 guys have to sign on for the assignment, and Walker chose to pursue other opportunities. So no Lonnie Walker in Maine, no G League for Lonnie is going to go try to play somewhere else. Lonnie Walker did tweet out a message the day after that was reported. Said only 25, all in due time. The marathon continues. I know the stars will align. Self-belief is the best belief. All a part of the story. Stay tuned. Just the classic athlete tweet after getting cut or not making a team. It is what it is. Have you seen those memes on Twitter where it's like college football, or not college football, but like NFL players all tweet differently? Like quarterbacks, like pray to God. Running backs are like all about the grind, and then wide receivers are like, if the stars align in my right direction, then I'm. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't. Pull it
Oh,
up.
I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know how I would be able to find it. Oh God, I don't know. Wait, what happened? Wait, sorry. I logged onto Twitter, and one of the first things I saw was so Joe Mazzulla, like the whole thing got like posted to Instagram, right?
Everywhere.
Like,
Yeah.
right. Steven Adams apparently commented and got removed by Instagram. He commented $20. I punched Rudy Gobert square in the nose.
Yeah, can you imagine Draymond, dude?
I know. Steven Adams.
Draymond, like the fighting announcement would come. There would be an Instagram live or a new Draymond pod within minutes.
Dude, Steven Adams is a monster too, though. Oh my God.
NBA Royal Rumble would be fire. But it's real.
It would be. QB. I don't know how to find this type of tweet. Tweets. I don't know how I'm gonna find this. You just have to take my word for it because I have no idea.
I believe you.
I have no idea how I'd be able to find this type of tweet. Unless I Google like quarterbacks versus running backs versus wide receiver tweets. Once you see it, people listening who have seen the tweet will like understand. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah, here we go. This is the tweet or the tweet format. Typical QB tweet. I love my teammates. God is good. Running back tweet. Keep grinding. Tight end tweet. Derp. Wide receiver tweet. The enemy speaks kindly and holds it high. And this wide receiver tweet is Lonnie Walker. That is what it is.
That is true.
But yes, not joining Maine is the point of the thing. We got real off course.
You guys got a fire pod today.
Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be real funny if they lose tonight and like I'm pissed off for the first half of this.
I was waiting for you to give your commentary on the Lonnie Walker thing because I was like ending the intro and like allowing you to now speak.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You don't have to. There's not much
Springer's
thoughts.
safe
I just thought, yeah,
now.
sure, okay. Well,
very happy.
Yeah. Springer's fine. All right, let's
looked
go.
Happy on the bench the other day, celebrating.
Yeah, and then he got in the game and dropped the ball.
That's all right. He's rusty.
It's not all right. That is like job 1A when you get in the game is don't drop the basketball. Like,
he almost had a steal. I hope Springer like trolls around Celtics media and finds this stuff and gets a kick out of it. He definitely.
I don't know if he'd like it very much. Yeah, no, absolutely.
He wouldn't dislike me. I'm the king of the Springer fan club. I want to see him winning.
All right, let's go to the email here. Reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. Got a few from RJ today. RJ says 3 is a magic number. Even folks, I know the win against the Bucks was number 4, but the Celtics Powerball is still the 3. Last year, the Celtics averaged 3.6 more made threes per game than their opponents. In the first 4 games, the Celtics are averaging 11.5 more made threes than their opponents. Last year, the Celtics made an average of 16.5 threes per game. In the first week, the Celtics haven't made fewer than 17 in a game. 6 Celtics are making more than 39% of their threes, none of whom are named Sam Hauser or Kristaps Porzingis. All of which is to say, if the 3-ball bores you, prepare to be positively stupefied all season as the Celtics roll on. Be well, RJ, and fan of Schoolhouse Rock, which he sent us. Number 3. Or number 1 is a magic number. Is there a 3? Is this all right?
There's a magic number. The past and the present and the future. Faith and hope and
Okay, we're done. Hell yeah.
You did it less than 7 seconds. We survived copyright. Not that it matters.
Woo! No, we're not getting copyrighted by Schoolhouse.
I will say this. I'm curious. Well, I guess I don't have to be that curious because we kind of saw it against the Pistons. But I'm curious to see what happens when all the threes aren't going in and what they do to adjust. I think the game against Milwaukee is also a good example of this. So as I talk, I just realized I'm fucking stupid. But seriously, like, to know that they have made this many threes and they've been this efficient from 3, if they have a point, because even in both of those games, they had stretches where they were unconscious. The second half against Milwaukee was a great 3-point shooting half, and the first quarter against the Pistons was hysterical. If they have a game where nobody is able to get it going from 3, what are they going to do? Is it going to be a lot of Jaylen mid-range turnarounds? If so, fine. But if those don't go in, watch out.
Sure. I think they have so many good shooters and so many players capable of creating their own shots that it is going to be 1 in every 20 games that happens.
Sure.
And maybe they lose that game and people say, well, they can't win if the threes aren't falling. And then the response to that will be, well, they're 19-1. So sure,
Yeah.
maybe they will. I think that's what they're banking on. I think they're just too good of a 3-point shooting team to not depend on the 3. And I think the stigma of they can't depend on 3 should die, because it's not a stigma if you just have really good 3-point shooters. Like it is not like they are the Magic and they're living and dying by the threes, or the, the Trailblazers or whatever. I just picked like teams that didn't have the best offense. It's like they have an amazing offense. So if the 3 is what works, you got to keep shooting the 3s. And I don't think it's a fluke. I think they're just going to be an incredible 3-point shooting team. And I think that's it. Next one from RJ.
Year, sorry. It's last year, just to the whole point of like how ridiculous it would be if they lost a game because they couldn't make threes. I did a power rankings on Celtics blog of the Celtics losses after the Cavs game when they lost because of Dean Wade, and the ridiculousness of things that it took for the Celtics to actually lose a game. Every single one was like they shot laughably low from 3 and the opponent couldn't miss. Like that's what it was taking for them to lose games.
And that didn't happen often in the playoffs. It happened once, one single time that happened in the playoffs.
Game 4 against Dallas.
Or twice. It happened twice, actually. The Heat, game 2.
Yes.
As well. All right. Next one from RJ says 24 seconds of trust. Morning, folks. Here's a question that gets asked every season, so let's roll out again. What makes a championship team different from the other 29? Some say health, others say talent. And while both matter, the biggest difference is trusting each other for a full shot clock. It's easy to trust the first pass and the first defensive stop, but then you have to give up the ball or make a cut or rotate on defense, and then again. And then maybe a third or fourth or even fifth time, believing in what you are doing while you are doing what you've been coached to do. Your 4 teammates are doing the same. It's easy to break ranks and freelance. It's hard to maintain your commitment to trusting even as the clock is racing towards 0. But that's what a champion does. That's what the Celtics are doing. And that never gets boring. Be well, RJ. Yeah, I mean, they're just good. They just trust what Joe tells them to do, and they do it at a high level.
It's kind of funny that Joe Mazzulla has become the coaching equivalent of love and trust. Like that's his whole thing with the whole team.
Yeah. Shout out Joe. From RJ once again says a real seasonal preview. Morning, folks. I'm writing this Wednesday before the Pacers game, so once again I could be incredibly wrong by the time you read this. The C's 4-game road trip is a good litmus test for the season. They're playing 4 games, in 6 nights against 3 teams that beat them last year. We'll see how the team performs without Al Horford for one of the back-to-backs in Charlotte. I would say the C's will face hostile crowds, but apart from the Pacers game, I expect the Hawks and Hornets games will see as many Celtics fans as homers. So here's my fortune-telling skills at work. The Celtics should go 3-1, either losing to Charlotte or Atlanta, or they sweep the road. If they sweep, expect more cries of either disband Boston or outlaw 3-pointers. I'm looking forward to the games against the Hornets because if anyone should have an inside track on disrupting the Celtics, it's Charles Lee.
Actually,
But
very
we'll
true.
see what happens. Be well, RJ. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, road trip, whatever. Just I'm excited just to watch every game. So that'll be fun. But all three of these teams did beat them last year, so that I guess that is unique.
Chip on the shoulder, Celtics. Watch
Yeah.
out.
I suppose so. I remember when I predicted every single game of the season. I did
Yes.
predict this Pacers game that was yesterday as you're listening to this to be their first loss. So I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
This does feel like a trap game. Just all like everything about it feels like a trap game. You've got the Celtics haven't lost yet. The Celtics have looked really good in just about every game. The Pacers have looked horrible. Halliburton's been horrible. They're coming to this game, 1, at home, and 2, having got swept by the Celtics in the conference finals. Now, one thing about the Pacers that you can like be optimistic about it not being a trap game is that the Celtics kind of gassed them up afterwards, so there's no like disrespect. But I'm sure they still want to get him back.
Definitely. And speaking of that, let's jump over to the NBA, check and see what's going on around the league. And the Pacers are a good example of Jesus, man. not having a good start. We don't have to go through the standings just because it's been like 2 days since we checked the standings. So it's like we're not going to check every time.
Biggest red flags.
Yeah. The Nuggets look like shit. That's the biggest red flag. They're terrible. They barely beat the Raptors and Nets on back-to-back days. Both went to overtime. They just do not look like a championship level team right now. And I'm not going to like sell my stock yet because Jokic is Jokic, and I still think you got to respect that. But man, it does not look good.
I don't even want to like dance on their grave because I actually don't have beef with the Nuggets. Or like some Celtics fans do not like Michael Malone just because he was like talking shit after they beat the Celtics last year, which is fine. But it is like a little bit of a real shame that they're losing. Just out of a sheer, it would be great if the Celtics have no reason to worry about Jokic. That's like the only guy in the NBA right now. Oddly enough, after like 2 years ago, me being like, "Who's afraid of Jokic?" Like he's like the scariest person in the NBA. Just because
Did
the
you say
Celtics don't-
that?
Oh, before they won the championship, I was like, I just don't know if I buy Jokic as like one of those guys in a playoff series that you're just terrified of.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember that. I hope
I'll own it. I'll own it.
I hope I
Bad
told
take.
you you're crazy at the time too. I hope I told you that.
I don't think you at the time could like discount it because they didn't win a championship, but you did disagree.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I mean, they played the Celtics last, but the Bucks look like awful. They look really bad.
I mean, they lost the Nets and they lost to
yeah.
Chicago. Those are two games that
yeah.
coming into the season, Bucks fans would have been like, win, 15-plus point win, comfortable win. Giannis can sit in the fourth quarter. Dame can sit in the fourth quarter, wins. Instead, those guys lost, dressed as Mr. Potato Head, and then lost to the Celtics in a blowout fashion, too.
You know what I'm learning is that the East and the West, we knew the West was better than the East, but not this much better because there are only 3 teams in the Eastern Conference that have a positive point differential right now. It's the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Magic. The rest have a negative. And a lot of teams in the West have a positive point differential. It's not looking hot. The Pelicans blew a real bad game against the Warriors last night. They choked. They were up 20 early, and then they lost by like 15. The Jazz look pitiful. They're going to be really, really, really bad.
Good for them.
Spurs look whatever. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else that has stood out too much that we didn't talk about last time. The Magic look good. I mean, I think we talked about that. I'm still wary. But Paolo put up like 50 the other night, so he's crazy. But other than that,
Knicks not good at defense. Shout out to Wayne Spooney. Wayne Spooney of First the Floor did tweet out yesterday. I only saw it this morning as we record this. That the Knicks, they have the second worst defense in the NBA per defensive rating. Now, if you believe in that, then this means something to you. If you don't believe in that, it doesn't mean anything to you. But another wrinkle to that he also included was that the defense is 3 points better per 100 possessions with Cat off the floor, which is kind of something we talked about going into the season where with that move, maybe they lose a little bit of that presence down low. He's not as great a defender as somebody like Mitchell Robinson is at the rim. And so far, it's a real shame. I was really upset that he tweeted this, actually, because I went online and was like, look, nobody goes on Twitter looking for this kind of negativity. It's really mean and hurtful to put that out there and be like, yeah, the Knicks are not good at defense. So I just wanted to defend them in this breath because, I mean, that's really mean. You shouldn't say that they're the second worst defensive team in the NBA. Also, as we're recording this, Pistons 0-4, probably should be 3-1. I hope they beat the Sixers today. Big day. Tobias Harris, revenge game.
Sam, how many games is it going to take for you to admit the Pistons are bad?
A lot. Because I don't think they've played bad basketball so far. Like, they don't look like a joke to me. So, I mean, they played the Celtics real well, which is going to go a long way. That's where I get the most of my NBA sampling, to be honest with you, is when teams play the Celtics well. I'm like, respect. But I do want to take a quick look just before we move on. I want to know what the line is on Tobias Harris points against the 76ers tonight, because he's the guy. He's got to have a chip on his shoulder. Scorers. Tobias Harris. Oh, this is just first scorer. Hold on. Points. They don't have it. They have Tim Hardaway Jr., they have Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, and Jaylen Duren, but no Tobias Harris.
Damn shame.
Fucking forget it.
Tobias Harris, who's shooting 17% from 3 this season.
That's okay. It's okay. He also just might be bad, but the whole team might not be bad.
All right. Let's jump over to some other NBA news. Scottie Barnes is hurt. He is going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. This is per Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Scottie Barnes has been diagnosed with a right orbital fracture and will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. So we lose Scottie for a little bit, or the Raptors lose Scottie for a little bit. They haven't looked amazing so far. I still think their team is fine, relatively speaking.
The Nuggets.
I don't know what that'll mean for where they go in the standings, but they did not beat the Nuggets. They lost in overtime to the Nuggets. But Scottie Barnes was playing pretty well. Obviously, it's tough to gauge things because of small sample size this early in the season. But he's averaging 19, 8 and 6 on 46, 18 splits. Wasn't shooting well from 3, but everything else is all right. It's true. But everyone else looks solid. RJ Barrett's looked pretty good. I guess he only played 1 game, but he put up 20 on okay efficiency in that one. Grady Dick's looked real good through 4 games. They're going to be bad. This is very random, but Jakob Poeltl's name is spelled different on NBA.com versus everywhere else.
Which name? Jakob or
last name?
Poeltl.
Poeltl.
How do they spell it on the web?
NBA.com and Wikipedia spells it Poltl with a little 2 little dots above the O. Everywhere else is Poeltl. On Google,
I thought the E was in there.
I did too. That's how I always spell it. But NBA.com has Poltl. So I don't know.
Maybe the dots imply the E.
I assume, but his nickname on Basketball Reference is Jake Puddle. It's
pretty insane that the Nuggets have not led after regulation so far. They have not led at the end of the fourth quarter in any game they've played.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. That's pretty not good. They haven't looked good. Jamal Murray, man, is not looking incredible. He's not looking amazing. He's averaging 18 on 38, 35 splits. Christian Brown's averaging 14 on pretty good efficiency. He's been a good defender too. Their defense is just not great, and their offense is also not great. they just look like a bad basketball team. Michael Porter Jr. shooting 30% from 3 on the most attempts on the team. It's not been good so far. Yeah, man, not ideal. And Russ, oh baby,
still can't believe they thought it would work.
Nuggets are a mess. Anyways, next thing, Lonzo's hurt again.
Sucks.
It's been a few
but it's
games.
a positive. at the same time because it's not his legs. Go on.
Yeah, Casey Johnson of NBC Sports Chicago says Lonzo Ball said an MRI showed between a grade 1 and 2 sprain. If he kept playing, could advance to grade 3 and might have come to play. It's on his wrist, I believe. Can still work on his lower body stuff, etc. He'll be reevaluated in 10 days. Lonzo, who has played in, I believe, all of their games, excuse me, up to this point, and looked all right. He's been averaging 16 minutes a night, putting up 5 points, 4 rebounds, shooting 35, 33. Nothing crazy, but he's playing, right? And I guess that is the important thing.
It's going to take a while to get your feet back under you after you haven't had the NBA speed anywhere for the last 2 years. You just haven't had that kind of level of play. So it's going to take a minute. But it sucks he's hurt. It's good for him that it has nothing to do with the thing that kept him off the court for 2 years.
Yeah. Patrick Williams sucks, man. This guy's terrible. Oh my God. How much did they pay him? Sorry, I'm like looking at, I just pulled
$20
this
million
up
a
to,
year,
like,
I think, for 4 years.
Yeah, I pulled this up to look at Lonzo's stats. He's making 18 mil this season, next season, the season after, and then a player option for 18 and 28, 29. He has played the 4th most minutes per game on the team at 28 minutes a game. He's averaging 7 points and 5.5 rebounds on 28-29 splits. He stinks.
You got to draft well.
He's so bad. Can we look at that draft? What was that 2020 NBA draft? Was he 2020?
All right, so that draft was kind of a shit show though, just because of COVID and guys not getting to play in the tournament and teams didn't have his. I mean, Wiseman was the second pick in that draft.
He didn't. I don't think he started a game in college though. And I know there have been players who you draft that have been better from that, like Devin Booker, but like, Jesus, man, Patrick Williams went 4. Onyeka Okongwu went 6. Denny Avdija was 9. Devin Vassell was 11. Halliburton was 12. What a fucking mess, dude. It's so bad. That's so bad. Anyways, we can go to the rat list here. What do you have, Sam?
Rat list is the guy at the Yankees game that tried to steal Mookie Betts' glove.
Yeah,
so if you
that's so bad.
The biggest thing that people have been talking about on Twitter since last night is there was a popped foul ball to the right field side, and Mookie Betts was trying to catch the ball, reaches into the crowd to make the catch. Yankees fan tries to tear his glove off of him, and there's an exchange. The fans are kicked out of the game. But this is an incident that has some lore to it, Jack. Are you aware of the New England figure that knows this individual?
No.
So apparently this guy and Gronk were college friends, or they were in the same fraternity or something like that. Because on Twitter, Gronk literally follows this guy.
Oh, man.
But this guy, he had an interview, I think it was with The Athletic afterwards, and they asked him what happened, and he went through and was like, yeah, it looked like the ball might have been up for grabs. So I reached and tried to grab it, and then Mookie Betts swore at me, not good. He said it wasn't good. So here's the verbatim quote. I just see the ball kind of, I don't want to say go up for grabs, if that makes sense. And then Mookie Betts was swearing at us. Not good.
Okay. I just want to say this point blank. This dude should never be allowed in an MLB ballpark again.
He's allowed in Game 5.
He should not be allowed in any MLB stadium ever again. Period. Like, no MLB games. This is like the top of unacceptable behavior. This is like, first of all, I've just played the clip, and if you haven't, go look at it. It is not, I tried to get it. It is Mookie Betts caught the ball. He grabbed his glove and then pried the glove open while yanking Mookie's arm to get the ball out. This is like this is the equivalent of a fan sitting courtside, pulling a Joe Mazzulla and blocking a 3-pointer that's on the court.
It's true.
Can't do that. Would every ever and from every game ever. You cannot do that.
Gronk on this guy. He's a beauty. I just want to say congratulations for shining when your moment came.
Yeah, that's dog shit. That's awful. It's terrible. This guy
Gronk,
is
who was a professional athlete.
Yeah, no. And for what it's worth, I would be saying this if it was a Red Sox fan, if it was a Celtics person who blocked a shot. Like, this is just unacceptable behavior. You can't do that. They're like, it's bullshit. Like, this is enough to get you banned, and he should be banned.
Yeah, listen, this is, I mean, I don't think either one of us care about baseball that deeply. I know you said that you have a hatred for the Yankees. I mean,
I do.
yeah, I don't want to see the Yankees win either, but like, I don't, it's nothing like some of these teams in the NBA that I hate.
Yeah, you can't do this.
But those are the
no.
kind of people that support the Knicks. Just, you
Mhm.
got to put it out there. Like, these are the people having parades in the streets.
I need to rat list our softball league umpire. So
Okay.
we play through Volo, which is like just the rec league thing that runs the sport, like rec leagues in Boston, whatever. This umpire, I don't know how else to phrase it, but doesn't know the rules of baseball / softball. She just doesn't understand. Like, for the first X amount of weeks, she doesn't know the difference between a force out and a tag out. And so it would be like there's a runner on right, like a runner on, or you just go like going into second base, right? Like, you are
Yeah.
going into second, going for a double, and they passed it to the base and they didn't tag the runner, and she just called it out because the ball beat them there to the base. She goes, he was stepping on the base, and we're like, that's not how that works. Like, no, right? So we're playing last night, and she's just calling like, this person's safe, this person's out. Like our one of our runners got to first base and was like walking past the bag, and then the ball got there after, and she said out. Like, and we're just like, why? Like, how? What do you mean
I
out?
can't believe they don't get you real umpires.
Mm-mm. And it's like, we're just like, how? And then the other team had a player running a second, and like they didn't tag them in time, but she called them out, and then they complained, and then she was like, oh, okay, safe. And we're like, and so I play first base, and I'm next to like the other team's dugout, and one of their guys was like, quote unquote, first base coach, right? He was just standing out there, and we were just like talking the whole night. And I go, what? So we just got to fucking yell at the umpire, and we'll get the calls too. So we're like he obviously knows that it's fucked. Like, he obviously knows that, and they should have beat us. This isn't me saying we should have won, but it's just like, it is frustrating to know that you are left up to the will of somebody who doesn't know how the game actually works. And so I'm just sitting there with this like guy from the other team, just like crying, laughing the whole night at like what is transpiring on the field, because there is just like egregious call after egregious call. She just doesn't know how it works. Like, she just doesn't know what's happening.
Is there like somewhere you can like submit a complaint?
I don't know. I don't know. And the worst part is, like, the way you throw a strike in this league is if it hits the plate. Like, it's slow pitch softball. So you just
That's how
push up and
softball
about,
works, yeah.
right? Yeah. Um, she just like calls balls and strikes how she sees it. Like, she doesn't know. And there's also a rule, like, if it's above your head, like, you can't throw a ball like really high in the air and then it come down and play. You know what I'm saying? But
I see.
they did that. Like, they threw a ball like all the way up, like above our player's head, and it just landed on the plate. She goes, strike, hit the plate, and we're like, that was 10 feet above our player's head. What do you mean it was a strike? It's so bad. It's so bad.
That would ruin it for me. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that.
It's not good. I mean, I'm like laughing just because it's is what it is. But
It's egregiously bad. Of course you're gonna laugh.
yeah.
Rat list. I just had it in my head. I lost it, so I'll do the other one. Anti-rat list is Doc Rivers. I talked about it on the pregame show, but I did not talk about. I don't think I've talked about it on the pod yet. Doc Rivers and I are good friends now, so I'm gonna have to be a Doc Rivers defender going forward. I think for the most part, I've been a Doc defender just because I respect that he won here or whatever, and I think he seems like a pretty nice guy. Like, he's pretty cool in the media, whatever. But anyways, Jack and I were at the Bucks game on Wednesday, and before each game, you have the Mazzulla press conference, you have the visiting coaches press conference, and when you are there as media, you're welcome to go to both. I happen to sit in the front row of Doc's press conference. Doc is giving an anecdote about how things have changed since he was a player. And he's talking about cell phones, and he points to me. He goes, this young man right here probably can't remember a world without cell phones. And got a nice laugh from the room. And then I was going to eat with Jack and the fellas. Doc gives me a nice pat on the shoulder, says, good to see you, young man. So now Doc Rivers and I are good friends.
Mm-hmm.
No Doc Rivers slander allowed in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
NBA champion Doc Rivers to you.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Until they beat the Celtics.
Yeah, exactly. What else do I want to wrap? I'm trying to think. I don't think I have too much more else. I think I'm good. I think I just had that one funny umpiring story. I almost hit a home run and I didn't. I still think it was close, but there's a rule. So like, there's no fence at the field we play at. Well, there is, but like the way it works is like the grass ends and there's like a sidewalk or like a track thing, whatever that goes like runs through the back of the field. And if it gets to that, it's a home run, right? And so the guy caught it like on the edge of the grass, and if he wasn't there, it would have hit the thing. So like I was almost there, but it didn't get that far. I was real close. And we
I
lost.
remembered my final rat list, so we will end on this.
Sure.
Rat list is Jimmy Fallon. So I don't know if you saw this, Jack.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I did.
The Tonight Show had AJ, Big Justice,
Rightfully
and
so.
the Rizzler
Yep, good.
on the show. The Rizzler's feet do not touch the ground on the chair, which is hilarious.
Of course not. He's a child.
It's so bizarre that these guys are on late night television, but
They're
nonetheless,
famous.
Jimmy Fallon could not have been less interested in them. AJ, like, he does like one of the boom things. AJ is the dad, by the way, which would be confusing. It was confusing to me at first. I thought he would be Big Justice and his son would be named AJ, but I guess not.
No.
So Jimmy Fallon's like, yeah, you guys like do the boom thing. Paraphrasing, but like that's what he says. And he goes, yeah, we bring the boom. And Jimmy Fallon's like, all right, dude, shut up. Pretty much is what he says to him. And he was devastated that he had to interview these guys. And like, I get if people think it's annoying. I think it's kind of like funny and harmless. And it's pretty funny that they have like become as famous and everywhere as they are.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, unless there's a deeper root to it, which it doesn't really seem like there is, this is a guy and his son making TikTok videos and people think they're cool.
They've been like doing YouTube stuff for like ever. Like you can see YouTube videos of Big Justice and AJ from like when Big Justice was like 2, right? Like they
really?
have just been trying. Yeah, they've just been like documenting their family, like having fun, whatever. And now they finally made it. So it's like you said, it's harmless. Like they're just funny dudes.
It's a guy and his kid. Now, if you want to get mad at it, what I can say is it's a little strange that the Rizzler is not part of their family, but he's everywhere with them. Like the kid's 7. I'm pretty sure he's 7.
I think his dad goes along with them too. He's just not on camera and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure that is how it works.
I can tell you for a fact that the Rizzler's dad is involved because my friend got me a Rizzler cameo for my birthday where the Rizzler and his dad wished me a happy birthday, and the dad went through all of the things that my friend said that I enjoy, and the Rizzler did not like one of them. The Rizzler does not like cats. He's allergic to cats. He doesn't like the Celtics. He's a Knicks fan, and the list goes on. The Rizzler, by the way, does not know what an umpire is, Jack, just to tie it back to your
I know. I love the Rizzler.
Clueless.
I love how there's like side characters too, like Jersey Joe and like all these other TikTok people like that are just like part of the crew.
But there are people out there that get mad at these guys. Greatest tweet I saw yesterday, and then we can wrap. Shout out to Jake Wallinger of the Pod on Lansdowne pod. He is a great follow on Twitter. He always tweets funny shit. But yesterday he tweeted the screenshot of him watching the interview of AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler on Fallon with a notification banner from his mom asking how the job hunt is going. I will share my screen.
I saw it.
Right
so
now.
good.
Just so everyone can enjoy this too. Shout out to him. It was a banger tweet. He got 170,000 likes. Well deserved. I was one of the first. Sent it to all my friends.
How's the job search going? Give a Riz face tutorial. Have you heard the rap songs?
I've heard the Bring the Boom song, but I haven't heard the rap.
They put out a
song.
sequel. to Bring the Boom.
Is the Rizzler in it?
Yes, the Rizzler does a verse. Do you want to hear his verse?
Oh, pull it up. Pull up the Rizzler verse.
Okay, mute it. Take the rat off.
Yep, I'm taking him off.
Let's see.
We probably lost
oh yeah, they're
95% of our viewers by this point.
They're gone. All right, here we go. Dude, I love Big Justice and AJ. Here we go. 10 hours of the Rizzlers verse, and we bring
All right, let's see it.
No, we'll do this one. Hold up. Let's go.
The Crew remix. Can we get
here
copyrighted for this?
Hopefully not.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and blue. We bring the boom. You gotta be on. You know me as the Rizzler. I'm the best in black. Once I give your girl the wrist face, there's no chance she's coming back. I hang with AJ and Big Justice. Bring the boom, you know it's on. We're like the three evolutions of Pokemon.
I'm cousin Angelo, I bring the boom as you can tell. With salami, provolone, and mozzarella.
Jersey Joe is here, get on your feet and crank the volume. Cause it's all about the family and it's all about the boom.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the red, white, and
Just
blue.
wait.
We bring
Just
the
wait.
boom. You gotta be on.
I'm the father of the Rizzler, call me Uncle
Oh, here he is, the
Sylvester.
father.
I bring the boom with meatballs and brajol and pasta. We're climbing up the ladder, always having a good time. And when the sun goes down, we'll be saving you from crime.
I'm Lulu and I got a gold Italian horn. I've been bringing the boom since the day I was born. With Big Justice as my grandson and AJ's my son. When we bring the boom is second to none.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you. We bring the boom across the.
There are people that are actually mad that was just on the screen.
Dude, I love Bring the Boom. Have you heard the hold up. We Bring the Boom sequel. They put out
I think I've seen the sequel one.
it's called Still Bringing It. And the dad literally, you know how people are telling them like, oh, put the fries in the bag, bro. Have you heard that insult?
No.
You've never heard put the fries in the bag?
I've quickly deduced what it means because they
It's
want
just
more
like-
fries.
No, it's just shut the fuck up. Like it's
Oh.
the equivalent of shut up and dribble. Like put the fries in the bag, bro. Like shut up. Like just
Okay,
just-
all right.
just, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if you're doing too much, like shut up. The dad goes, put the fries in the bag. I already ate them. Just hold on.
Still bringing it. Still bringing it. Still bringing it. Who said one hit wonder would bring the boom? We're back bringing it. So turn up the volume.
Gotta bring the boom strong. Bring the boom with no fear. Bring the boom was the song of the summer this year.
Put them on the boom meter, we're gonna rate it. Put the fries in the bag now, already ate it.
Boom and doom in the red crowds making some noise. Taking the field with the Boca Beach Boys.
Busting on the rap scene like Slim Shady. Throwing with the raw just like Tom Brady.
Throwing off weight that others can't budge. Smashing home runs like Aaron Judge.
Across the world, across the nation, keep on singing it. The boom's still here and we're still bringing it.
Them bringing the FAU team out at the football game is great content, by the way.
It's phenomenal. Have you seen apparently they stole the beat of, or not confirmed, but the Bring the Boom is just Donkey Kong's Birthday Bash, like 2001, like it's just the same.
Really? I thought that they wrote that. I thought they composed the music.
Oh man, the Ratless just turned into the fucking Costco
The
guys.
Riz
simulator.
list.
Anyways, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. If you're still here, you truly are a soldier. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you think of Celtics-Pacers or the Rizzler or whatever. You can hit the bell. We're doing pods every single day, or content every single day. Pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game. And other videos are up in between to keep you all up to date with all things Celtics. You can find us on Spotify and Apple. All audio pods and game recaps will be there for you. So if you follow those, we'll go right into your feed. Leave a 5-star review if you're on Apple. We appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. You saw RJ send in some emails today. Join the club, hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.